and welcome to the channel. And today's video we are checking out the third, oh no, actually not the third, the second of my Baroness Classified Series customs, but it's the third figure of the Baroness that I own or have. But today we are checking out the one in the middle, which is the custom version of what's called the Crimson Strike Force. So as of this recording, which is late October 2023, Hasbro and are putting out their exclusive 3-pack, which has the Baroness and the and Tomax and Zaymot in their red, or I'm sorry, crimson colors. So when I made the custom, the blue custom, right there on the left, I had mentioned that I was going to do also a red version of the Baroness. Little did I know that it would take me almost an entire year to do it, just because of other things that, other projects that I did first. And once Hasbro announced that they were doing their own version of, or they were doing their version of the Red Baroness, I kind of forgot that I was going to do this custom until then, and I was like, oh yeah, I was supposed to do the red version. So I think they announced it around or prior to Comic-Con, San Diego Comic-Con in July. So still, here we are a couple of months afterwards, and still up until now, I was able to work on and make make the custom. However, you can see there's differences between this version, the red version, and the two in the back, and that obviously it's not just the colors. So one of the things that I mentioned when I was doing, that I showed off at the end, I believe that I did at the end of when I was doing the blue version, I used parts from the Snake Eyes movie Baroness, and I swapped them out for the with the Classified Series, the standard version, right? So if I'm not mistaken, the one that's still all black, that's the retro version, and the one that I painted blue was from the 2-pack with the motorcycle. And then so the red one, I also used a retro Baroness, but like I said, I used parts from the movie Baroness, from the Snake Eyes movie. So let me just remove the two others, and let's just focus on the custom for today, which is the red version. So what I did is, so I used the legs and the pelvic section from the movie Baroness, same as the upper arms, the biceps and the shoulders, which are all in one piece. That's also from the movie Baroness. I believe the dagger here is also belongs to her. I don't remember if the regular Baroness had this weapon. She still is retaining her standard belt, holsters, whatever you want to call, and the forearms are from the so the forearms, the upper body, the midsection, and obviously the head are from the standard Baroness. Same goes for her weapons. So I'm giving her the this long sniper rifle and her two handguns in the back. So other than just being different, that was one of the main reasons why I used parts from the movie Baroness. Because again, just to make something different and not just make over the same figure twice. So even though the paint scheme was gonna be, other than the actual colors gonna be different, the paint scheme itself was gonna be different. I was gonna, highlight more silver highlights on the figure that I didn't do on the blue version. But still, I just wanted to add something different, so that's why I decided to go and use parts from the movie Baroness. And also, what I liked about the movie Baroness is that she had, or they gave her high heels, sort of. She does have high boots, but they're more like, what they call these wedges, which I think is way more appropriate for Baroness than just having flat boots. Although, military boots are flat, but whatever. It's still an action figure of a cartoon toy, right? So anyway, I'm sorry, an action figure of a cartoon character. So still, so let's just take a look closely at what I did on this, and I'll explain a couple of things about this figure and everything that went to it. She has two sets of glasses. The ones that she has right now are from the movie Baroness. These are the glasses from the standard Baroness that you could remove from the retro version. So they are slightly different. Ones are a little more. Ones are more elongated, and the others are a little shorter and taller. So it's just a preference. I think I'm sticking with these. These are the ones from the movie Baroness. I was thinking of tinting them. Sorry, red. So I may try that later on. But I don't want to lose these either. So that's why I gave her two sets to carry. Okay, so full disclosure. So I had to do this figure twice. Or do the repaint on the figure twice. The first paint that I had used turned out to be a enamel paint. The paint that I used is a sub brand of Duplicolor. It's called VHT, I believe. And it was, let me just bring it out better to show you. So for the main red part of the body, I had used this paint right here, VHT plastic paint, high temperature. So it's supposedly chip resistant and all of that. So that's why I had you can see right there it says will not flake, chip, or peel right here at the bottom. Right, it's not focusing, but okay. So anyway, I had used this paint to do the full red over the entire body. But like I said, the paint I immediately noticed was going on, even though I only used like two coats. It went on real thick, and it was losing all of the detail that the figure has over the entire suit. So you can see she has some detail, if it'll focus, over an entire suit. You can see like a snake texture going on over her entire body, especially there on the arms, right? So all of that detail got lost because the paint went on real thick, and the nowhere on the spray can does it say that it's enamel paint. So enamel paint, for those who don't know, is thicker than the acrylic or the lacquer-based paints, right? So when usually when people use those for like a model cars and all of that, they thin it out just a bit, just so that it'll go through the airbrush. But typically, when you're buying the paint on the off the shelf on rattle cans, well, the pressure found on the air pressure within the can is enough to pull the paint sufficiently enough so you'll get your coats nice and clean and smooth. Sorry. Still mildly thinned, but not by much. So, for instance, if you were to apply nail polish to a figure, typically the nail polish is made of enamel paint. So if you ever try and test out, enamel a nail polish on one of your figures, you'll notice it'll go on real thick. So that needs thinning. So by the time that I finished painting everything red on the figure, I noticed that it was too thick, so it lost all of that texture on the suit. So I had to. And I even then I was like, well, I guess that's a lesson I need to learn, and I moved on, and I still tried to finish painting the figure, right, by adding the metallic red paint to her chest armor, her forearm armor, and the thigh armor, right. For that, I did use Duplicolor metallic paint, automotive paint. But that paint is an acrylic lacquer. So instead of like a regular acrylic paint that is water based, these use other chemicals, but in plain simple terms, it's more like alcohol based. So think of like the Tamiya paints. Tamiya paints are an acrylic, but they're also not water based. There's like an alcohol base in there. So alcohol. I'm sorry, alcohol. Yes. Don't mix alcohol. Don't mix acrylics with enamels, because they don't get along. So when I applied the metallic red paint over the figure, there was a weird reaction where the metallic paint was becoming dull. It was dulling down in spots, not completely, but in some areas. I would apply for instance, let's have a look here at the shoulder pad. I applied the paint here, and then let's say like a spot right here would dull down while everything else was completely fine. So the paints, even though they're made from the same brand, but they're different, chemically different, they were reacting to each other, and it was causing a complete disaster. I did a try, and I thought maybe if I applied a clear, it would correct the issue, and it did. So I applied a clear coat of a um, of a gloss finish. I use the in some instances I use the the Deco Art Dura Clear. So I use this gloss varnish to see if I could get the shine, and it did. It worked. Um, but again, once I was finished with the figure and looking at it, I was not satisfied that all of that snakeskin type texture on the figure was lost. So I decided to give it an alcohol bath to remove all of the paint. So I started over. And in doing so, enamel paint is really tough to remove with just alcohol. So I mixed like 80 to 90% alcohol with some acetone, and I let the figure sit for an hour before trying to scrub off the paint. And it was working, but it wasn't working as fast that I wanted to. So it was a lot of scrubbing and scrubbing using a toothbrush, right, or even something harder, a harder bristled brush to try and remove the all of the paint. And when that and then we encountered issue number 2, which was the plastic on the chest, on her chest armor. So you probably can't tell from here, but let me get this here closer. Get the focus. But come on, focus. There we go. So the chest armor suffered some damage. You can see there is like some rough areas on the around this spot over here and over here. That's because the plastic on this portion of the figure is different than all the other plastic of the figure. So this plastic had a reaction to the alcohol acetone mix, and it didn't it's not like it melted, but it did pit. You could see just some minor imperfections happening in the armor, right? If I bring out the blue custom just for comparison, you can see how her armor is way smoother, right? No imperfections whatsoever. So let's bring out the red again. Right, so you can see some slight imperfections across the armor. So that was the other issue I had when working on this. Once I was finally able to remove all of the most of the paint, the red paint, there were just some that dug in certain crevices and spots that was just harder to remove, but it was very minimal, nothing that was gonna hamper repainting the figure. So luckily I had bought 2 different types of red paints when I was working on the figure, when I was gonna work on the figure. So I also had bought this duplicolor what's it called? Vinyl and fabric, red paint. So this is the paint. This is acrylic lacquer based paint. So this one went on way thinner, which allowed for the figure to showcase all of that texture all over the costume. And then I also used like I had mentioned earlier, a duplicate color metallic. I believe I used I believe it was cardinal something, the color. So that's why it looks a little more like a wine red instead of a metallic red, right? But anyway, here it is. There are still some areas that need some touching up. Or the ankles and the elbows and the shoulders are really tight. The joints are really tight. So that's why on this particular figure, the paint was just scraping off too much. So I'm gonna just touch up the ankle here and some spots. But for the most part, all of the paint took real nice. We do have like full range and everything. So you have the butterfly, you have the elbow. I'm sorry, the shoulder that goes completely up. We do have a full bend of the elbow. You can see right there that there's some paint that needs to be touched up. The legs. The legs do go up. The knee does bend. You can see right there some more paint that's scraping off. And then here at the back, another thing that I like about that Baroness figure from the movie is that this Baroness does have a booty compared to the standard Baroness, which has more of a flat butt. But you can see the differences are, she has these little integrated shoulder pads into her you could say sleeve, right, compared to the standard Baroness, which has these armor pieces, shoulder pads, right. And then of course I just highlighted all of those raised edges with silver paint. Like I said, the belt is her standard belt. So all of these are painted a little slightly different. So the red version, the blue version has the red Cobra logo. Instead of it just kept it black and painted red around the logo. Versus the standard Baroness, which has nothing painted on. One thing I hadn't really noticed until I was working on this custom, that I believe this bottom portion of the chest armor, this portion right here underneath, I believe that is supposed to be a continuation of this part of the suit, and the armor starts at this raised edge. So what I should have done is painted this part red, standard red, right? And I started painting the metallic at this point right there. The head and face, I didn't do anything to it. Just kept it. I was thinking of maybe just adding a blue wash over her hair to, that's something that they always do to figures with black hair. And of course the glasses are removable, like I said. So there goes the set from, although the set, the glasses from, the glasses from the movie Baroness weren't removable, but once I applied the heat to disassemble the figure and all of that, they came off. And these are the standard Baroness glasses. But like I said, I actually think I like these ones better. And they fit perfectly. The guns and all of that, I'll probably paint those. Maybe I'll try a silver color or something, or a gunmetal. I don't know. But for right now, I'm just keeping these black. And just again, just to add a little more different color and to keep in line with what, the straps. I just painted the straps on her forearm armor black. This is just a black Sharpie marker. You can see some detail there on the boots that I'm not exactly sure if those are supposed to be like the buckles for the boots or what, but I just kept those untouched. You can see right there more paint that scrape off. So these areas, like I said, are really, really tight. So I'm gonna have to apply some more touch up on this figure, touch up paint. So as far as I know, the version that they're gonna release officially is basically the same as the standard retro, or the standard Baroness from the Classified series, just with added paint detail. I don't think they're changing anything as far as on the suit. Again, I could be wrong, I'm not sure, but I believe the only thing that they're doing is like giving her I believe they're giving her new elbows, so they're double jointed. But other than that, I don't think they're changing much from the figure. So that's about it for this custom. Let me see if I can put this gun on her. There we go. Because yeah, these elbows, single jointed elbows, you can't really pose her really well if you want it. But there we go. So here's my custom version of a custom Crimson Strike Force Baroness. Now I don't need to go and find the 3-pack. I wasn't planning on getting it anyway. The only reason I would have gotten it was to get the Baroness. I don't really need the twins in their red outfits. But since I had this custom planned anyway, if I find the 3-pack on discount someday, although probably not, because it is, I believe, a Pulse exclusive, a Hasbro Pulse exclusive, and those rarely go on discount. So I'm perfectly fine with this custom right here. So there you go. Let me know what you guys think. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.